Blaster Girl. Beat it, because I want to get to our special guest here. All right, Feeney, so this Saturday, August the 7th, is National Mustard Day.
Exciting.
It is exciting for you, exciting for me, perhaps even more so for one Mr. Barry Levenson, the owner of the National Mustard Museum in Middleton, Wisconsin. Barry Levenson's on the line with us right now. What's going on, Barry?
We are so pumped. We are so excited. Last night, the Middleton City Council issued a proclamation that declares Middleton a ketchup-free zone on Saturday, National Mustard Day.
Wow. Listen, that's terrific news. And, in fact, I wanted to ask you that. I mean, philosophically, first of all, I've been to Milwaukee a bunch of times. A magical place to take in a ball game. I haven't been to Miller Park, but I went to County Stadium, one of the great underrated parks in baseball. And the bratwurst, you can smell them from the stands. They smell so good. You go out underneath into the outfield and you slather the bratwurst with some nice spicy mustard. But that's a great philosophical question that I've debated many times, Barry. What say you about on your wiener? Is it allowed to take a little strip of ketchup alongside the mustard?
Absolutely not.
No.
I mean,
I like
is there
already
even a question about that?
First of all, it's not Barry, it's Mr. Levenson, because, first of all, Mr. Levenson, welcome to the show. Forgive my partner for being rude. Tell us about yourself real quickly. Now, what do you do over there in Wisconsin, and tell us about your organization.
Okay, the National Mustard Museum is the world's largest collection of mustards and mustard memorabilia. We're also the world's largest seller of different mustards. We sell over 500 different mustards on our website, mustardmuseum.com, here in the gift shop. But I am the curator and CMO, Chief Mustard Officer. The Mustard Museum has been around since 1992. I started collecting jars of mustard on October 28, 1986 at 2:30 a.m.
Oh, my God, wait a minute.
Where were you?
Mr. Levenson, I know that date. I think I know that date. Go ahead.
A few hours after my Red Sox blew the 86 World Series.
First of all, Mr. Levenson, they're our Red Sox.
Yeah.
Second of all, what made you, as soon as the ball went through Buckner's legs, what made you think, I got to start a mustard museum?
Well, that was, of course, Game 6. Then Game 7, there was still hope, even though Red Sox fans
no. There was no hope. Even though they had the lead in the sixth inning in Game 7, it wasn't going to matter.
They were up 3-0, just as they were in 1975, up 3-0, and they blew it. So I couldn't.
Jim Rice homered in that game, early in that game, but then Ray Knight put him on top to stay.
Makes me crazy.
That was
MVP.
just awful.
So we lost. Orozco was on the mound celebrating like a madman,
throwing his glove off.
And you say mustard.
And I say, all right, I got to go to sleep. And I can't sleep, so I go to an all-night grocery, and I've got tears running down my cheeks. And I say, this is nuts. I got to get a hobby. I have to collect something. And I was in front of the mustards, and I heard a voice that said, if you collect us, they will come. And I started collecting jars of mustard. Right now I am so thankful that I was in the condiment aisle and not the feminine hygiene products aisle.
Mr. Levenson,
running material.
You're talking to me now.
I'm going to tell you this. My father, also a Red Sox fan, went to a grocery store as well that night, but he was in front of the liquor aisle.
Yeah, well.
and he looked at the scotch and he says, if I drink you, the voices will stop.
It was awful. It was. I grew up in the Boston area, so.
But our loss is clearly society's gain and Mr. Dameshek's gain, who loves mustard more than anything.
My reputation surely precedes this conversation.
And the show's reputation, right?
That's true. I have heard that you are a mustard aficionado.
Well, I am, at least in my own mind. But I'd like to debate some of the heavier philosophical issues in the world of mustard and condiments in general. First of all, I declared about 2 to 3 years ago, and I've sort of retracted it since. But I could see a world in which there is no yellow mustard, that there's no need for yellow mustard. I contend that in almost every case, the spicy mustard is superior to the yellow mustard, even at the ball yard, even at the ballpark. I'll take a spicy mustard if they offer it over the traditional French's yellow mustard. How say you, sir?
Well, the first hot dog I have usually has to have French's Yellow on it. And the reason is I put a perfect squiggle on. Artistically, there's nothing like yellow mustard on a hot dog. A perfect squiggle. I hold it up to the sky. There's the blue sky, the green grass, the yellow mustard, the brown base paths. Things are right with the world.
I like this character.
As American as apple pie. Now, what about this? What about mustard?
It doesn't get any better than that. And I will bring with me yellow mustard, just in case. I'll bring with me a squeeze bottle of French's, or I'll also then bring packets of Grey Poupon, because then usually the second one, I've got to have that nice spicy Dijon mustard. I've got to have some Grey Poupon on it.
What about...
Have your yellow and eat it, too.
Do you, too, like... Not to interrupt, guys, but as far as Dameshek goes, in his will it states, to be buried, he'll be buried with spicy brown mustard. Is that your case, sir?
It is. In fact, they're going to have me stuffed and mounted and put here at the Mustard Museum because I can't leave. I'm here forever. I can't do anything else now. I used to be a lawyer, so that's done. So I've made the world better not just by starting a Mustard Museum, but by having there be one less lawyer out there.
We all have our life's work. For us, it's this podcast. For you, it's the Mustard Museum. I think it's great, not to mention the fact that he does this and balances a rather full career as a Hollywood director. Rain Man, big fan.
I didn't. Did you like that?
Loved it.
Thank you.
Very, very good. Really, really good. No mustard, but a lot of pancake and syrup talk in that movie. But still, I can see you were still finding your way.
Shakespeare wrote about pancakes and mustard in the same passage.
I believe that was the taming of the shrew, I guess. I don't want to bore people with our talk about Shakespeare.
But you're talking over my head.
Don't worry about it.
No, Shakespeare loved mustard. And he wrote about mustard in 4 of his plays. How many times did he write about ketchup? Not once.
Of course not.
Never.
Back
did he ever write about mayonnaise? Not even a syllable.
Well, listen, I just defend ketchup by saying this, that, I'm born and bred on the banks of the Three Rivers, Pittsburgh, PA, so Heinz, the factory, is right there. So, of course, I appreciate it. And to this day, I'll put a little strip of the ketchup, a squiggle, as you call it, next to the mustard when I'm at the ball yard, and shame the devil if you don't like it. It's on my tongue, not yours, sir. So,
well, that may be true, but you should know that according to the National Condiment Research Council, ketchup is now the leading cause of childhood stupidity in America.
Is that right? Where's this council operating out of?
Check it out, page 920, paragraph 3.
Crazyville, Wisconsin.
Would I make that up? No.
You wonder, where do these great directors of our time come up with their ideas? You can see Levenson's got them free-flowing faster than a full bottle of French's mustard.
To see a genius at work is one thing. A mustard genius, it's a whole other thing. I've
been called a mustard savant.
What about pretzels? What kind of mustard on pretzels?
Sweet mustard.
Sweet mustard. I've never heard you say that before, David.
Well,
sweet
listen.
Hot mustard. By the way, you want the ultimate mustard experience. Now, this Saturday is National Mustard Day, and we're giving away free hot dogs as long as you have mustard on them. If you want ketchup, it's a $10 surcharge. We have to discourage that kind of antisocial behavior. But there is a restaurant group called Culver's. It's big in the Midwest. There are like 400 of them. Famous for frozen custard. They have whipped up a batch of frozen mustard custard with chocolate pretzel crunch.
Oh,
wow.
It's unbelievable. It's really good. And you say, oh, come on. Ice cream, frozen custard, but it's good. It's really good.
I was just about to ask, what innovations, were early in the 21st century? What mustard innovations
You're
await us?
going to find that's going to be a flavor that's going to be in demand all across America.
I petition that we call that dish the Levenson. What do you say?
Oh, that sounds fabulous.
I think that's great. I'll order one Levenson, please.
I love it.
Extra sprinkles.
All right, so you're in Wisconsin. You're not far from Chicago. Let me ask you this heavy question. Mm-hmm. The wiener in Chicago, and region by region, different people treat their wieners differently. I'm a grilled dog man myself, and but in Chicago they boil them up or however they prepare them.
Steam them.
They put a pickle on it, and I don't mean a nice dill pickle either. They put the green sweet kind of pickle next to it, and tomato, and all this cockamamie mess on there. What do you say about that kind of a dog?
Well, it's called a Chicago dog.
Yeah, I don't
like it.
Put
a lot of stuff on it, but one thing that you never put on a Chicago dog is ketchup. There's even a book called Never Put Ketchup on a Hot Dog. and it's about all the great Chicago hot dog stands, the old independents, that are such a great part of the Chicago landscape.
That must have been a New York Times bestseller. Never.
Well, it's bigger there. I mean, it is something that's almost religious.
But they're no good, though. That's the point. That's what I'm saying to you. They make the deep dish pizza just fine, but they don't make their wiener preparation is subpar at best and grotesque at worst.
A really well prepared Chicago dog on the steamed poppy seed bun with that green relish, and there'll be a slice of pickle. There'll be tomato, some onion, and mustard, and never ketchup.
I've been to the wiener circle, sir. I understand how what the best of Chicago wieners is all about. But let's talk about obviously you're a mustard man, but I also trust, in spite of your prejudice against the ketchup, what other condiments will you allow on your palate?
I just don't traffic or deal with the lesser condiments.
Mm-hmm. I respect it.
You know, I mean, there are so many flavors to be had with mustard. Herbs, fruits. There are some mustards that will blow you away with things like blue cheese right in them, with cranberries, garlic. A lot of things that mustard can handle, and they come off well. So, and it's versatile. You use it in sauces, in dressings, use it in a lot of things. So
delicious as a marinade. People don't realize.
Yeah, they do. Actually, yellow mustard is a marinade, and as the base of a barbecue sauce, Carolina-style barbecue sauce is yellow mustard.
Clearly, this is a learned man, a well-traveled man. Mr. Levenson, let me ask you, are you a family man?
I am indeed a family.
You are a family man. Now, how do they feel about your museum and your obsession with mustard?
At a mustard tasting, so she can't say, well, I didn't know.
That's a wonderful romance.
Here's the
first squeeze. Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Levenson, you're
better
than that, sir. Let me ask one more question. Here's really a good test, because I've asked David Dameshek many times. You know, David, if you had to choose between your wife and the show, what would you be? And 10 times out of 10, it's always, well, of course I'd pick the show. The question to you, sir, mustard or your wife, which one would you pick? You got to take one to the great place in the sky.